Hi everybody, it's Doreen, and I'm back today with my 2011 Thanksgiving Cards with the Cricut series. This series is going to be really quick and easy cards, and I'm going to show you how you can take one card style to make several different cards by changing the paper and the colors. So this is the card for day one of the series, which looks like this, and this is what is called a gatefold card. So it opens like this. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how you can make this quick and easy card. Okay everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up the supplies so we can get started on the first card of the Thanksgiving series. So now, my card measures 5.5 by 8.5, and this is some of that linen textured cardstock by Joann's, or that I picked up at Joann's. And what I've gone ahead and done is I've gone ahead and scored it at 2 1/8 and then 6 3/8. And then what you'll do is just you'll go ahead and fold it in like so, and this is what forms your gatefold card. So now what I want to go ahead and do is add my top layer on 1/2 of the gatefold, and this cardstock measures 2 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and this cardstock is from a paper pack that is a K & Company, and it's a Tim Coffee paper pack, and it looks like this. And I believe the name of this one is, oh, it doesn't have a name on it, but the paper is double-sided, so there's some really pretty papers in here. And I had a very hard time finding some fall type papers, so I was glad that I did finally end up finding that one, and I got that at Joann's, and I ended up I got that at Michael's, and I used a 40% coupon. So what I want to go ahead and do is just line this up so I can look to make sure I've got it even where I want it, which is, it's going to be like so. So let's go ahead and take the ATG gun and get some tape on our paper, and I'm going to line up the first side. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to open out the card so I can get this lined up where I want it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and press down, and then the way I cut the paper, the word autumn is going across there. So I'm going to try, when I go ahead and put this down, to line that up again so that I can have that matching up. And I'm going to go ahead and get my tape down. And then I'm just going to, and I'm not going to open this up because I do want to kind of get this lined up so it's at the same on each side, like so. So that ends up showing up like that. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit there so you can see where we're at. So now the next thing I've done is my next layer measures 3 inches by 4 inches, and this is going to go on this half of the card, and that's what forms your gatefold. So before we go ahead and lay this down on the card though, I want to go ahead and talk about the top layers that I've added on here. Now what I've done is I've also cut a layer that measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, And I've used once again some of that textured cardstock that I picked up at Joann's. And then I took one of my Studio G stamps, which says harvest, give thanks, and be merry. Fall is where nature turns gold. And that is all, this is one stamp, and then this is another stamp, but they come together. And as I said, it's one of the Studio G stamps that I picked up at Joann's, or actually, no, I got that at Michael's in the dollar bin. And then what I've put on top of that is this little frame. And this frame is from the Art Philosophy cartridge. And it is on page 47. And it looks like this. And I cut this at 3.15 for the width and 3 3/4 inch for the height. And I actually did this on my Gypsy because what I wanted to do is I was trying to match the frame up, the outside frame, to go along with this cardstock underneath. So in order to do that, I did this on my Gypsy, and I took off the aspect ratio button, which is over here, and then I punched in 3.15 for the width and 3.75 for the height. And I kind of knew that my piece of cardstock measured 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I took my George and Basic cartridge, which has a square on it, and it looks like this. And I kind of made it the actual size that the gold piece was. And then once I got that size, I then just took my frame and just squeezed it in there till it fit. And that's how I came up with the measurement of 3.15 by 3.75. So that is key number from the Art Philosophy cartridge. It's key 27. And it looks like this. So what I want to go ahead and do is I want to go ahead and line this up on this layer here. And I've also gone ahead and I've inked my edges on my layer here, and these two layers and my frame were all inked with the new Distress ink that I picked up, Gathered Twigs. So now what we can do is just go ahead and line this up and place this down on here. So I'm going to use my ATG gun once again. And as you can see, I've got my, well, you might not be able to see it, but I have my measurements on the back, so I wouldn't forget what it was. But since this is going to be a series of gatefold cards, once you've done one gatefold, you pretty much know what you want your measurements to be. It's just a matter of changing up the look with the different type of paper. So now that we've got that on, what we want to do is we're going to lay this down, and we only want to put tape on this half of your top layer, because you want the gatefold to be able to open out like so. So I'm going to go ahead and add some tape to just this side of the layer. And so I'm going to put some on the edge, and then what I want to do is go just, and I'm actually eyeballing this, I just want to go halfway in the middle of this layer. And I'm only going to lay that down on this side. And I kind of want to line it up as much in the middle as I can. So then we just have it on that one side. So now when they go to open the card, it opens like so. So now what we want to do, I'm going to go ahead and stamp an inside greeting on the inside. And I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig to do that. Okay, rather than using my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig, what I've decided to do is go ahead and line my stamp up with using my Fiskars. I don't remember the name of this. If I find the name of it, I'll put it right here. So, because I'm going to use this because I have two stamps that I'm putting together. And this stamp set is an Inka-Dinka-Doo stamp set, and it is called Harvest Expressions. And I bought this stamp set last year, and it looks like this. I'm going to put my hand there, and I apologize for the glare. But when I was doing the Thanksgiving series last year, I could not find any stamps that had anything to do with Thanksgiving or fall. And after I did all my cards, about a week later, I did find this stamp set, so I thought I'll save it for, at the time, I said I'd save it for next year, which would be this year. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamps, and I'm using the gathered twigs again. And I'm just going to go ahead and get some ink on both stamps. Make sure I get enough ink on both of them. And I think I've gotten enough ink on there. Let's hope. And then I'm going to open up my card like so. And I want to go ahead and lay this down on this foam mat, because I found I stamp better when I have that extra added cushion there. And then I'm going to flip and make sure I've got it lined up the way I want. And then I'm just going to go ahead and line this up. Let me move this up a little bit so you can see. And I think what I'll do also is I'm going to back up just a little bit here. And line this up. And then I'm going to make sure I've got it where I want it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and press down. And then raise up. Okay, so it could have come out a little bit darker, but that's okay. So it just basically says, Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Harvest Plenty. So that's it, everybody. That's card number 1. So don't forget to come back and watch for day 2 of the Thanksgiving cards with the Cricut 2011. Bye.